Matter and materials. Learning about what matter and material are. Somebody is happy today. That's a large bowl of soupy noodles that you have. It's nice and piping hot. I'm sure all of us like our noodles. But did you notice something about your bowl of noodles? Let me tell you, there are 3 states of matter in your bowl. You have the noodles, which are solid. You have the soup, which is a liquid, and the steam, which is a gas. Don't we always find something to learn in everything we do? Let's finish our noodles and then learn what matter is first. So, what is matter? Matter is a substance that has weight and occupies space. Matter is found everywhere and everything is made up of matter. Your toy is made up of matter. Your food is made up of matter. Your home is made up of matter. And in fact, the entire universe is made up of matter. All matter is made up of very tiny particles called molecules. Molecules are so small that we cannot see them with just our eyes. We would need a microscope to see them. We already learned that we find matter in 3 forms. We'd found all 3 in our bowl of soup. We had solid, matter can be in a liquid state, and matter can be in a gaseous state. When we look at the molecules, they are constantly moving. In solids, you find that the molecules are very close to each other. They are closely packed. In liquids, the molecules are less closely packed than in solids. And in gases, the molecules are far apart from each other. Because the molecules are closely packed, solids have a definite shape and volume. Volume means it occupies a fixed amount of space. Liquids have a definite volume, but no definite shape. They take the shape of the vessel in which they are kept. Gases do not have a fixed shape, and they do not have a definite volume. Gases can be compressed and filled in vessels of any shape and size. Let us learn some more about matter and materials. Click on the topic you want to learn about. Water is a liquid. It can dissolve many gases like oxygen, nitrogen, ammonia, and carbon dioxide. The best place you can find a gas dissolved in a liquid is in your favorite cool drink. The bubbles that are rising up are actually carbon dioxide that has been dissolved in the juice. If you shake the bottle, the whole drink spills out. It looks a little as if the water is boiling, right? So, we see that water can dissolve many gases. We learned in the last panel that water can dissolve many gases. This is very important for fish. Fish breathe the oxygen dissolved in the water. Even aquatic plants use the oxygen dissolved in water. Aquatic plants are those plants that grow underwater. Does your mommy give you a hot cup of milk in the morning? She puts in a spoon of sugar and mixes it. Wonder where the sugar went? What happened to the sugar is that it dissolved in the milk. The sugar spreads throughout the milk. The sugar is reduced to molecules which are so tiny that they can't be seen. Molecules move around evenly through the milk. If you boil the water and allow it to evaporate, you would find a layer of sugar in the bottom of the vessel. Let's look at some words or terms that we should remember. We have solute. The solid that dissolves in a liquid is called the solute. In our cup, it was the sugar. Solvent is the liquid in which any substance dissolves. The liquid in our cup is milk. And the liquid we get after dissolving a substance in it is called a solution. You may have noticed that it is always easier to dissolve sugar if you powder it instead of using sugar crystals. So what we learn is that it is easier to dissolve a solid in its powdered form than in its solid form. Let us try some wonderful experiments to learn a little more about how solids dissolve in liquids. We know that when we dissolve sugar in a glass of water and mix it real well, we find that the sugar uniformly mixes in the water because the taste is sweet throughout the glass. The same thing can be seen if you add salt with water. It remains salty all over. This means that a solution mixes uniformly throughout. We are not able to see the mixture when you added sugar or salt, but to see how the solution is uniform, let us add a salt called potassium permanganate. When we mix potassium permanganate, we see how the crystals dissolve and slowly the entire liquid turns into a purple solution. This jar seems to be full, right? No more marbles can be added. But if you take some sand and start pouring it into the jar, see what happens. Right, the sand goes and fills up in the empty spaces between the marbles. Did you notice that none of the marbles fell down when we filled sand? The same thing happens when we dissolve sugar in water. See the level of water. Even though we added so much sugar, the level of water hardly changed because the sugar molecules fill up the spaces between the molecules of water. The spaces between molecules are called intermolecular spaces. Matter is always changing. Water can become ice, that is a change. So, changes are of two types, physical and chemical changes. So, what is physical change? When physical change takes place, no new substance is formed. When you melt some butter or ghee, it becomes a liquid, and when it cools down, it becomes a solid again. So, no new substance was formed. When a chemical change takes place, a new substance is formed. We all love Diwali and Diwali sparklers. What happens when you burn a sparkler? We get some ashes. Now, if you cool the ashes, do you get back a sparkler? No, that is because it is a chemical change. So, when a chemical change takes place, a new substance is formed. Summary: we've learned a lot about matter and materials. That's enough for now. Let me go back and finish my noodles. You too go and grab a bowl.